Hi guys, it's Ben Arce with the Boca Voice, and today on Keys to Boca, I take you through an iconic home right here in our backyard. So we're so fortunate enough to have the owner, Marc Bell, and Marc's going to take us throughout the home. Marc, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks for coming today.
Yeah, no problem. So we're right here at the entrance, so why don't you just take us through?
Great. Welcome to our home.
Thank you.
It's 20,000 square feet under air. It's got lots of fun things to do in the house. It's all about entertaining. It's all about having fun, enjoying life, family, friends. And what I'll do is I'll show you some of the fun rooms that we have here.
Okay. So what's the inspiration behind this room, other than obviously you're a huge fan?
When I was a child, it was one of the first TV shows I started watching. And as a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. And so I just became in love with the show.
Okay.
And I probably was like 10 years old at the time.
Right.
And a Trekkie was born.
Okay.
And that's when I was designing the house.
Okay.
We decided a lot of the room, instead of doing the house in one theme, different rooms can have different looks and feels.
Okay.
And so this is the lobby for the theater.
Right.
We do all your candy bar laid out, lots of stuff in the fridge for people to drink. Place for people to rest in between movies, per se.
Right. So this is the lobby for the theater that we're going to go into.
Exactly. So this is a replica of the bridge of the TV show Star Trek Next Generation. And all the seats recline and they turn into beds. Okay. The seats in the middle move with the movies. They're on a platform with motion actuators. Right. So you can move. Yeah. It is. It's a very fun place to watch a movie.
So it's better than iPic, huh?
What? A little better than iPic.
A little bit of an iPic. All right.
It took 4 years in total just to design and build the theater.
Is that right? It's just collecting all the the props and things like that, or just designing it?
Designing it. It's an acoustically perfect room. We spent many months working on just acoustics, and so every seat, no matter where you sit, you have perfect sound. Right. No matter where you sit in the theater.
Right. So one of the things I do notice is all the artwork that you have through the property. So can you talk a little bit about? I guess it's a passion of yours to collect art.
Yes, I've always, when I was much younger, I acquired. I used to have a postcard when I was in high school of MC Escher's Ascending and Descending. The staircase that never ends.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then one day it came up for auction. Okay. I was like, wow, I could get that. And then I decided to ask, well, what else does he make? Because I knew nothing about him except the postcard. Right. And he had all this cool surreal art. I ended up acquiring what is now one of the world's largest collections of MC Escher's. And I had acquired an Andy Warhol print of an apple. And I said, I wonder what other things Warhol made. Right. And what's great is if you look up here, up in the air, you can see these are Andy Warhol soup cans. These are all 20 soup cans all together. Art is something you should enjoy and have fun with. Okay,
all right. So now we're walking, I see behind you is our dining room.
To a formal dining room. Right. And what's fun, if you look at the wine cellar over here, the wine cellar is electrostatic glass. So I can push a button and it all goes away.
Awesome.
And I can push it again and it all comes back.
Okay.
And because you don't want ever to have direct sunlight on the wine, but sometimes you want to see it. And there's 2 refrigerators in there, so if one goes out, there's always a backup. Right. And it's always at 59 degrees. Okay. And 73% humidity. We planned it all out, that everything from our basketball court to a 50% scale college football fields, to the pool, to the outside seating areas, to the inside. Everything's all about entertaining, all about having fun, and it's just a theme you'll see carried throughout the house. So the kitchen, we did things like, we made the aisles to the kitchen almost a 2 feet, foot and a half wider to 2 feet wider than a typical kitchen. Right. And the thought being is most people go to the kitchen and they hang out in the kitchen. So here it allows the 2 people to stand across from each other comfortably in the kitchen and have a conversation. Because no matter where the house is, the kitchen becomes the center point where everybody hangs out. Right. And so we decided when we built the house, we're going to make the kitchen the center point, but we're going to make it a social place as well. It's a house that doesn't feel, even though it's very large, it doesn't feel large when you're living here. The goal is that everything's broken up, so it's a livable space.
Right, so you feel like, some of these homes that I'm sure you've been in, they're huge and they're massive and they're gorgeous, but you don't feel like you can really touch anything, you can't have fun, you can't sit on the furniture or anything. Like you said, like this house, it's definitely livable.
This is very livable and it's fun and everything hoses down, so it's great.
All right, so now we're coming into what is my favorite part of your home. This is, truly breathtaking. We got a full arcade, we got a bar. This is fun. When you're talking about a fun house, to me this is, screams fun. So tell me all about this room, what went into it, design, thought, and everything.
Well, this really all came about, it started with the bar. and I always wanted to own a bar. Right. And I tried in New York for years to open a bar, and I just could never do it. And a lot of false starts. So I was building the house, I said, I'm building my bar. And we aptly call this Barbell.
Barbell,
and,
okay. Fitting.
And it started off as a little bar, and then as a child, one of my other things I used to love was the Lincoln Logs.
Right.
So this room here is an ode to Lincoln Logs.
Okay.
It's all Douglas fir. It's almost all held together with pegs. We stained it so to make it a little darker, but it's all wood. It is a big Lincoln Log project. Then we decided once we build it, well, what are we going to put in here? Okay. And I collect old video games. And I said this would be a perfect place for all my games.
So you built this room not knowing it was going to be the game room at first. It was just building a cool room because of the Lincoln Logs.
Had no idea what we were going to do with it. And then as we were building it, I said I had a warehouse full of my video games, and I collected video games from 78 to 82 when I was a kid. That's what I played. I restore them. And I said this would be a great place to put them.
All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tour. I really did. This is truly one of the most iconic homes here in Boca. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions about the home, please leave comments below, and I'll make sure I'll get them answered. As I always say, make sure you're following us at The Boca Voice. We talk all things real estate, politics, restaurants, everything else in between here in Boca. I'm Ben Arce, and I'll see you next week on Keys to Boca.